Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a fantastic day. It's only a couple more days until Innistrad Midnight Hunt. The next set comes out, and we can start doing standard decks. But for the moment, we're still doing historic stuff. So I got another historic deck for you here. This is a Boros Slivers deck, for those of you who may be unfamiliar with Magic the Gathering. Boros refers to the color combination of white and red. And basically, slivers are creatures that are kind of interesting. They all have abilities that are something along the lines of slivers. All other slivers get an ability. So like this one, sliver creatures you control have first strike. Sliver creatures you control have vigilance. Sliver creatures you control have haste, and so on and so forth. So the idea is you flood the board with a ton of slivers, and they all buff each other, and you get a large army of slivers that are really difficult to deal with. So let's look at the deck. This is, I would probably call this an aggro deck, although it's a little bit more mid-rangey than your typical aggro deck, because it does have some, quite a few 4-drops and some higher-end 3-drops. But for the slivers themselves, we got 4 copies of Striking Sliver. 1 mana, 1/1 gives all slivers first strike. Then we have 4 copies of Sentinel Sliver, 1 and a white for a 2/2 that gives all slivers vigilance. We've got 4 copies of Cloudshredder Sliver, 1 white and 1 red for a 1/1 that gives all slivers flying and haste. This is probably the best sliver in the deck, honestly, because just giving them all flying is insanely powerful. We'll come back to the other 2 drops here. Then we've got 3 copies of Blur Sliver, which also gives slivers haste. 3 copies of Spiteful Sliver, which gives slivers the ability, whenever this creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target player or planeswalker. So if they want to block our slivers and kill them, they're going to have to take damage to their face. Then we've got 4 copies of Faceless Agent. This is a shapeshifter, so that means it is every creature type, including slivers. So it doesn't actually buff all the other slivers, but it does receive the buffs that all the other slivers give it. And when it enters the battlefield, you seek a creature card of the most prevalent creature type in our library. So basically, when this thing hits the board, you will grab another, you will essentially randomly get another sliver from your deck. Then we've got, up at 4 mana, 2 copies of Bonescythe Sliver, which gives all slivers double strike, and 4 copies of Cleaving Sliver, which gives all slivers +2/+0. For the non-creature spells, we have 4 copies of Lava Coil. It is 1 and a red to deal 4 damage at sorcery speed, and if it would kill a creature, you exile it instead. If we have Spiteful Sliver on the board, you can also use this on your own slivers to deal 4 damage to your opponent's face, which can be useful to just kind of close out a game at the very end. And then this is the really fun one. We've got 4 copies of Path of Mettle. It is 1 and a white for a legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each creature that does not have first strike, double strike, vigilance, or haste. Well, first strike, double strike, vigilance, and haste are pretty easy to get on all of our creatures because of slivers. So basically, this deals 1 damage to all of our opponent's creatures. And then, when you attack with at least 2 creatures that have first strike, double strike, vigilance, or haste, it transforms into Metzali Tower of Triumph, a legendary land that can add 1 mana of any color. More importantly, for 1 and a red, you can tap it to deal 2 damage to each opponent. And for 2 and a white, you can tap it to destroy a creature at random that attacked this turn. So it makes us kind of hard to attack into, and it gives us a way to deal damage to our opponents every turn and pressure them even more. So I think it fits really well in this type of deck. And then as for our mana base, we got 7 basic plains, 9 basic mountains, 4 copies of Sacred Foundry, words are hard, people. The red-white Shockland, and then 4 copies of Sliver Hive, a land that can tap for colorless. It can tap for 1 mana of any color if you're using it to cast a sliver spell, And for 5 mana and tapping it, you can create a Sliver creature token as a 1/1, which is, useful for getting more slivers in the board. So that's the deck in a nutshell. I haven't really tested it enough to really nail down the exact numbers of some of these slivers, like Blur Sliver, Spiteful Sliver, and then Bonescythe / Cleaving. You could build this in a lot of different ways by tweaking some of the numbers. There's also some slivers that I didn't include, but this is what I come up with. This is what I came up with, and I've been pretty happy with how it's been performing in testing. So let's jump into some games. Okay, so we're going first, and we've got a lot of mana, but this seems fine. No 2 mana play kind of stinks, but we do have a 1, 3, and a 4 mana play, so I think I'm okay with this. So some sort of ramp deck, probably. Hey, there is a 2 mana play. Pretty nice draw, honestly. Get in there for some damage. And they're just going to scoop. I guess they don't want to fight the Sliver army. All right, on to the next game. Okay, we are going first again, and this looks like a perfectly reasonable hand. Need to draw a little bit more land, but we got a couple turns to do it, and we've got some plays in the meantime. So we'll go here, and do we want to play Path of Mettle? I think I actually want to play Path of Mettle here, so that next turn, kind of out of nowhere, I can play Cloudshredder Sliver and transform it right away. That will also give us an additional land, unless they zap our Striking Sliver here, which they did. Okay, that's fine. So let's go... let's go Spiteful Sliver here. If they want to zap this one, they're going to take damage. See what they do. And they didn't do anything. So now we can play our Blur Sliver, or our Cloudshredder Sliver, I should say, and attack with both. Okay, now they're zapping our dude. So we'll deal damage to their face. Might as well attack. Next turn we can Blur Sliver. They're trying very hard to make Path of Mettle not transform, which honestly I don't think is going to end up being that big of a deal. So let's go here. We will attack with both. That will transform Path of Mettle. They can't block, and then I think we'll just play out our other Blur Sliver. Glorybringer. Okay. All right. We'll say no blocks. So we just drew a mountain. I think we'll go ahead and attack with both. And then end the turn. If he wants to attack, we can destroy one of his creatures with Metzali Tower of Triumph. Okay.
My hair is on fire?
Chandra's a little annoying, but it's fine.
Ugh, don't you hate that burnt hair?
He's not attacking, so we will use this to zap him. And honestly, double strike here is pretty sweet. We can attack with everything. And he's going to have to block. Yeah. I think we do it this way. And that should be game, because he can only block the one. Oh, no. It'll be close, but it won't quite be game. He needs to kill us on this turn, or he loses to the damage from Metzali. I did my math wrong in my head. I thought he was going to have 2 life left. But yeah, basically he's got to kill us on this turn. Which, who knows? Dragons? It could happen. I mean, we have no blockers and only 12 life. And he can attack for Glorybringer. He can attack with Glorybringer, so that realistically we have 8. So he's got to hit us for another 4. So we'll see what happens here. If he has a way to deal 4 damage, maybe he's got like 2 shocks or something like that. Okay. I don't think that's going to do it. So we hit him with that, and then he explodes. There we go. Path of Mettle putting in some work. Not bad. Just a little bit of, you know, sometimes, especially with aggro decks, sometimes all you need is that little bit of extra pressure. Let's grab another one. Okay, we're going first again. No red mana for Path of Mettle, but we do have red mana for our slivers. So I think we'll keep this. I don't love this hand, but I think it's fine. And we're up against a Gigantha deck. So that could be a lot of different things. And looks like they mulliganed a couple times there. So we'll just play the plains. Okay. Go here. We really need to draw a mountain. So we can get Path of Mettle out. That'll help a lot against any sort of like controlling deck, because it's a way for us to deal damage that doesn't involve creatures. So they can kill all of our creatures, but unless they can kill our lands, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Okay. I think here we just play Spiteful Sliver. Attack with both. Again, drawing a mountain would be great. Okay, Clothis. There's another Path of Mettle that we can't do anything with. Alright, I guess we'll just go another Cloudshredder Sliver just to be a little bit more mana efficient. Kind of need a mountain. Actually, really badly need a mountain. Let's see. If we play Bonescythe Sliver next turn, if we draw a land, we're looking at 4, 2, 8. That would actually be lethal. So if we draw a land and they don't have a way to kill our Bonescythe Sliver, we do have lethal in the air. So we'll see. They could also just have some sort of board sweeper or something. There's a lot of them in Historic. Niv Mizzet Reborn. Okay. That's a problem. That is not a land. Alright. Well, this happens sometimes. I think we attack with everything. He's going to take 6 from blocking it. Come on. He should, if he's going to block one, he should probably block the Spiteful Sliver here. Although it might ultimately not matter. Six damage to face. Okay. Now the thing is, he has to block. So we'll play this. And if he does block one, he dies. If he doesn't block one, he takes 3 damage and goes to 1. Like, literally one mountain would have won us this game. Because we would have had Path of Mettle transformed, and we could be pinging him for 2 every turn. Come on, opponent. They're probably looking at all of their stuff and trying to figure out if they have a way out. Okay, Teferi, I imagine they're going to put Spiteful Sliver back into our deck. Yeah, that's pretty much the only way they had to get out of this. So, Path of Mettle, I mean, best draw, honestly, would just be a mountain. It's not a mountain. And I don't think we attack here. Let's just hold off. Like, this is terrible. One mountain, and we'd be okay. But hey, that's how the game goes sometimes, you know? Sometimes you just don't get the draws you need. I mean, I suppose we could have attacked twice to get rid of Teferi, but...
Wilds are primal and violent.
Okay.
Looks like you're not fit to survive. Keep up the pace.
Well, there's a Plains. That gives us double strike on all of our slivers. And then next turn we draw the Spiteful Sliver. So next turn, I mean, he basically needs to kill... Yep. Okay. Like, I think we're probably going to lose this one at this point, just because we didn't draw the lands we needed.
No time for a break.
But we'll see. At this point, it's kind of too little too late for Path of Mettle as well. But with Teferi and Garrick in play, as well as a 6/6 flyer, it's going to be pretty hard for us to come back at this point. Do we attack? I think we do. And let's just go face. Actually, no. Let's go here. Alright. At this point, I think I'm beat. Do they have a way to finish out the game? I mean, they've got a 6/6 flyer. We're on a turn 2. We're on a 2-turn clock. Plus, they also have... yeah, I mean, we lose right here. Discard one of my 3 copies of Path of Mettle? Totally fine.
We need to move quickly.
And then all they have to do is attack with everything. And then ping us with Klothys next turn, and we lose. And we can't, we don't really have any card draw in this deck, so... GG. You know what, we'll let them actually finish this off. Okay, Lava Coil. Doesn't do much for it. Oh, we can't even cast it. Alright, good game. We just needed 1 red source. But hey, it happens. Okay, going first. We got 2 mountains, but no white source. I think I got a mulligan that. Alright, that's better. I think we will bottom our Blur Sliver here. Actually, no. Let's bottom a Faceless Agent. No, let's bottom a Blur Sliver. It's kind of tough. You could go either way. But let's go Mountain, Plains. We do have our Lava Coil for a turn 2 hit if we really need to. Okay, drew another Lava Coil, which isn't great. But we'll go Faceless Agent here. Get a Sliver into our hand. Okay, there we go. And then next turn we may go Faceless Agent again. Okay. So let's go Faceless Agent again in case we get a one mana Sliver like that. There we go. And then we can Lava Coil the Savage Gorger if we need to. So I think next turn we'll probably Lava Coil it and then Sentinel Sliver. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we could go Spiteful Sliver and Striking Sliver. Or we could go Faceless Agent. I think I like Spiteful Sliver and Striking Sliver. And then we attack with both. Next turn, we'll Lava Coil the Savage Gorger. I mean, maybe we should have done it this turn in case they're running counter spells. Because it's only got 2 more turns before it's out of... okay, and they're running Proliferate stuff too. So yeah, we definitely need to Lava Coil the Savage Gorger. Oh, okay. That's a problem. So we definitely should have Lava Coiled the Savage Gorger. That's fine. So now he's a big boy. We could double Lava Coil, which feels pretty bad. Let's see here. We could attack with all of these. I mean, I've got 8 damage right now to the face. Let's go here. Let's go Faceless Agent first. Okay, Blur Sliver is whatever. And we'll attack with everything except for Spiteful Sliver. Then if they block, they take 3. I mean, they're going to take 6 here. They're actually going to take even more. So now they're actually in lethal range, and we can Lava Coil our own slivers. Hopefully they tap out here. Okay. They are pretty much tapped out. There's not a whole lot of 1-mana counter spells that will save them. So we'll go Lava Coil on our Faceless Agent. Hit him. And then we will attack with all of you. And that should be game, because if they block... Yep, there we go. So we got to see the Lava Coil Spiteful Sliver thing in action. I think that's a good place to leave it off. Guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.